Good evening, little ones. Are you ready for a bedtime story? Tonight we have a tale of cunning and courage, of a mother goat and her 7 kids. This is no ordinary tale, but one that echoes from a time long, long ago, in a world where animals could speak, and where danger often lurked in the most unexpected of places. Our story begins in a cozy, warm home, nestled amidst the verdant greenery of a sprawling forest. This home was shared by an elderly goat and her 7 petite, adorable kids. Each day was filled with laughter and joy, but every night the mother would gather her children around the hearth and share stories of the world outside, tales of adventure, of danger, and of the ever-present menace that was the wolf. So snuggle up and let's begin. As the sun rises on a new day, the mother goat finds herself needing to venture into the forest, leaving her little ones at home, but not before she gives them a warning that could mean the difference between life and death. Let's see how this tale unfolds. In a time long, long ago, there lived an elderly goat. This goat was not alone. She was the mother to 7 petite, adorable kids, each of whom she loved with the boundless depth that a mother reserves for her offspring. One sunny day, she found herself needing to venture into the sprawling woods to gather some sustenance. Gathering her 7 beloved ones around her, she cautioned them, her voice earnest. "My dearest little ones, I find myself needing to journey into the forest. I implore you to be vigilant against the ever-present menace that is the wolf. If he were to find his way into our humble home, he wouldn't hesitate to devour each and every one of you, leaving nothing but your fur and skin. This vile creature often employs disguises, but you'll be able to identify him by his grating, coarse voice and his menacing black paws." The goat's children pledged their assurance. "Fear not, our dear mother, we will keep ourselves safe. You can embark on your journey without the burden of worry." Hearing their words, the elderly goat bleated in acknowledgement, setting off on her journey with her mind placid and free from worry. However, it wasn't long before a knock echoed at the door, followed by a voice that attempted to mimic the gentle lilt of their mothers. "Open up, my precious ones. Your mother has returned, bearing gifts for each of you." But the young ones were not fooled. They recognized the harsh rasp in the voice that reached their ears. It was the wolf. Their reply through the closed door: "We will not grant you access. You are not our mother. The voice of our mother is as soft as a lullaby, as gentle as a summer breeze. Your voice, however, rasps with the roughness of winter winds. You are the wolf." The wolf, cunning as he was, found his way to a local shop, where he purchased a sizable chunk of chalk. Taking the chalk in his sharp teeth, he slowly chewed and swallowed it. This unusual act made his voice, previously harsh and menacing, turn soft and mollifying. Having achieved this change, he made his way back to the door of the tiny house. Each knock echoed through the quiet surroundings as he gently called out, "My dear children, won't you open the door? Your mother is back and she has brought something for every single one of you." However, his plan did not go unnoticed. As he laid a single black paw inside the window, the children caught a glimpse of it. Their voices filled with fear as they shouted, "We will not open the door. Our mother's foot isn't like yours. You are the wolf." Their words held a definite note of terror. Undeterred, the wolf ran off to the baker's shop. He feigned an injury, pleading, "I've sprained my foot. Would you mind rubbing some dough on it for me?" Once the baker complied, he proceeded to the miller. He asked the miller to dust his paw with white flour. The miller hesitated, sensing the wolf's deception, but the wolf threatened him, "If you don't do this, I will eat you up." The fear in the miller's eyes was evident, and he hastily whitened the wolf's paw. With his deceitful plan in place, the wolf approached the door a 3rd time, knocking gently. He called out to the children in a soft voice, "Open the door, my little ones. Your mother has returned from the woods with gifts for everyone." Seeing the whitened paw through the window, the children were convinced. They unlocked the door, and who should walk in but the wolf himself? Their hearts filled with terror. They all tried to hide, one under the table, another in the bed, one in the stove, another in the kitchen, one in the cupboard, another under the wash basin, and the last one in the clock case. But the wolf found them all, and one by one, he swallowed them down his throat. However, he did not find the youngest kid, the one who was in the clock case. Having quelled his ravenous appetite, he ambled his way out of the enclosure, settling himself for a rest under a solitary tree in the lush meadow. Here, he gave in to slumber's gentle call. A while later, the old goat, weary from her outings in the wilderness, trudged her way back home. What greeted her upon her arrival was a scene of utter disarray. The door of her abode hung ajar. The furniture, tables, chairs and benches, were toppled and askew. The basin meant for washing lay shattered in fragments. The bed had been stripped bare, its covers and pillows strewn around. A frantic search for her offspring yielded no results. They had vanished without a trace. She called out to them one by one, their names echoing in the eerie silence, but there was no reply. Only when she called out for the youngest did a faint voice respond. "Mother dear, I am concealed within the clock case," it whimpered. Upon discovery, the little recounted the gruesome tale of the wolf's visit and the fate that had befallen its siblings. The mother goat was stricken with grief at the loss of her brood. Overwhelmed by despair, she stepped outside, the youngest kid trailing behind her. They ventured into the meadow, and there, under the tree, lay the slumbering wolf, his snores reverberating through branches overhead. She observed him from every angle, her eyes catching sight of a peculiar movement within his bloated belly. "Good heavens," she mused, "could it be, can my dear children swallowed in his gluttonous feast still be breathing?" She sent the young kid to fetch scissors, a needle and thread. With trembling hands she sliced open the monstrous creature's stomach. No sooner had she made the first incision than a tiny head poked out. As she continued to slice, her children, all 6 of them, leapt out one by one, miraculously unharmed. The beast, in his voracious greed, had swallowed them whole. The joy upon their reunion was indescribable. They clung to their revered mother, their happiness bounding and unfettered, reminiscent of a tailor on his wedding day. With the mother goat's eyes now filled with determination, she began to devise a plan. "Stay close, my little ones," she whispered, her voice steady despite the fear that gnawed at her heart. "We must outwit this beast before he awakens." The little goats huddled closer to their mother, their eyes wide with anticipation. The youngest, still trembling, clung to her side. "Mother," he whimpered, "what will we do?" She looked down at him, her gaze softening. "We will save ourselves," she said, "and ensure that this wolf never harms anyone again." She instructed the little goats to gather large stones from the meadow, enough to fill the belly of the wolf. The kids, although scared, obeyed without hesitation, their trust in their mother unwavering. As they worked, the mother goat kept a vigilant watch over the sleeping wolf, her heart pounding with the fear of him waking. But the wolf remained oblivious to their actions, his snores echoing through the stillness of the meadow. As the last stone was placed, the mother goat nodded in approval. "Well done, my little ones," she praised, her voice filled with pride. "Now we must fill his belly with these stones and sew him back up. This wicked creature will never know what befell him." As they got to work, the mother goat couldn't help but feel a glimmer of hope. Perhaps they could survive this ordeal after all. With caution in her voice, the mother uttered the words, "Children, I implore you, venture out now and gather some large stones. Our aim is to fill that wicked beast's stomach with these rocks while he is yet to awaken from his slumber." Responding with haste, the 7 young goats collected the stones as quickly as they could, placing as many as they could muster into the belly of the unsuspecting creature. In swift but quiet movements, the mother used her skills to sew the wolf's stomach shut once again. Unbeknownst to the beast, he had not stirred or made a single movement during entire ordeal. Finally, the wolf stirred from his sleep, clumsily rising onto his paws. As a result of the weighty stones now occupying his belly, an intense thirst gripped him, leading him to seek out a well for a drink. As he embarked on his journey, with each step he took, the stones clashed and clacked within him, creating a sound that was impossible to ignore. In surprise, the wolf voiced out a cry. "What is this commotion rattling and rolling inside me? I thought I had savored 7 tender kids, but it's nothing more than mere stones." Upon reaching his destination, the well, he leaned over its edge to his thirst. But alas, the heaviness of the stones took over, dragging him into the deep abyss of the well, where he met his unfortunate end, drowning in the icy water. When the 7 young goats witnessed the demise of their tormentor, they rushed to the scene, their voices uniting in a jubilant cry. "The wolf is no more! The wolf has met his end!" Overcome with relief and happiness, they joined their mother in a joyful dance around the well. Their nightmare had finally ended.